Aproko Desk, where gist they get evidence.
Once upon a time, Tanzania was hailed as the calm heart of East Africa, a country too peaceful to make global headlines for chaos. But today, those same headlines are screaming her name. Streets filled with smoke, soldiers in patrol trucks, citizens running from tear gas, and a president facing the toughest test of her political life. What went wrong? Let's rewind the tape. In 2021, when President Samia Suluhu Hassan took over from the late John Magulfuli, she broke barriers as the first female president in Tanzania's history. The world cheered. A new dawn, they said. Magulfuli, known as the bulldozer, had ruled with iron fists and sealed lips. No dissent, no opposition rallies, and zero tolerance for criticism. His sudden death left the country in political shock. Then came Samia, soft-spoken, diplomatic, and at first refreshingly open. She promised reforms, freedom of speech, economic revival, international partnerships. Tanzania, for a moment, could breathe again. But politics in Africa, as we know, can change like the weather. By 2023, whispers of discontent grew louder. Opposition leaders like Tundu Lissu, who once survived an assassination attempt, returned from exile with renewed fire. They accused the government of corruption, economic mismanagement, and backdoor deals that kept ordinary Tanzanians poor while the elite grew fatter than Christmas goods. The honeymoon was over. Inflation rose, the cost of living skyrocketed, youth unemployment ballooned, and when citizens started asking questions, the government responded with silence, or in some cases, sirens. Fast forward to 2025, and the streets of Dar es Salaam, Arusha, and Dodoma are boiling. Protests have erupted following allegations of rigged local elections, voter intimidation, and opposition suppression. International observers, including from the African Union and EU, raised eyebrows, while human rights groups raised alarms. Videos surfaced online showing police firing live rounds and tear gas at demonstrators. The government calls it maintaining order. The people call it a war on democracy. President Samia's administration insists the opposition is stirring chaos, that they are tools of foreign influence trying to destabilize the country. But the people on the ground, they are shouting something different. They are shouting for jobs, justice, and a voice. As the unrest spreads, the United Nations and Amnesty International are calling for restraint. Foreign investors are quietly packing their bags. Tanzania's image as a tourism paradise from Zanzibar to Mount Kilimanjaro is taking a hit. Even neighboring nations like Kenya and Uganda are watching nervously, because once the fire of protest starts in one East African country, the smoke doesn't stop at the border. And in the age of social media, every clip, every shot, every cry echoes across the world, unfiltered. From traders in Kariakor to fishermen in Zanzibar, the sentiment is the same. We are tired. They remember the promise of change. They remember the woman who spoke of democracy and progress. And now, as soldiers flood the streets and journalists get arrested, they are asking one painful question. Did we replace the bulldozer with a smoother version of the same machine? Analysts say Tanzania stands at a dangerous crossroads. If President Samia Suluhu Hassan restores dialogue and accountability, she could still rescue her legacy. But if she doubles down, if arrests continue, if blood continues to flow, then history will write her name not as the mother of reform, but as the woman who inherited peace and left behind fire. Tanzania, a land once defined by unity and calm, is now a stage of political reckoning. The world is watching, and so are her people. Because in the end, power is never eternal. It's a loan from the people, and one day, they always come to collect. If you're watching this and wondering how a peaceful paradise turned into a battleground overnight, don't just scroll past. Hit that like button, share this story, and subscribe to Aproko Desk for the real gist behind the headlines. Because when the world spins out of control, we stay here to decode the chaos, one story at a time.